Alright, that's good. Should be live. Hopefully. Is anyone out? Just stuck here watching Tamworth. I have no clue what happened there. I tell you what, I love that Ruffman's livery. Two Ruffman's liveries, they're very nice. The BMW sounds so good for a diesel. Oh, I love that Rothman's livery. That was last. I think that was this year's livery, that for Le Mans, that BMW. Yeah, I don't know. What's that? Mercedes livery. Yeah, that's nice. I tell you what, these BMW liveries are really good. Rose motor oil. I think Tamworth is my favourite. Or this Rothman's livery. Or that one. Stiflers. That's a very nice livery, that one. Yeah, that is such a nice livery, that. Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, that Rothman's livery has to be my favourite. Alright, I want to go to the track. I'm not racing today. So, How many runners do we have? Can't have 9 runners in today's race. I think it's going to be a close one. I do like this track. I prefer this layout as well. The shorter layout compared to the full 4 miles, I think. It's a shorter lap time. Provides better racing as well. But I'm not going to lie, I do like this livery. This Rothman's livery on the NSX. That's a very, very nice looking car, that. And sounds good as well. Tamworth's livery as well, that's pretty nice. On the R8 there. Look like pretty good liveries all round, if I'm honest. So what do you think the race predictions will be for this one, for quali? If I was a betting man, I would put my money on Tamworth, mainly because he's the only really one I know. And I know he's a quick driver. I used to race with him on the F1 games, and he used to be very, very quick, so I don't know about anyone else really. I don't know, leave your predictions in the comments or in the chat. So let's get up the live timings. So where is everyone? I think people are starting their flying laps now. So it'll be interesting to see for their first run where everyone is going to be. Tamworth in the slipstream here of Pepe. Goes P2. Pepe goes P1, nearly 3 tenths ahead of him. Oh, sliding for the last corner there. So the grid covered by a second at the moment. From P1 to P4, a second covers the top 4, no rhyme intended there. Right, Kazi goes P4. 7 tenths off in the 911. Once again, that's a pretty nice livery as well, the green and black. I do like that. Oh, Stifler and Stifler right tucked up behind that NSX there, going up a hill. I don't know if he's on a filing lap. I think he is. He's going to get good slipstream here. If he can get the lap together, it'll be a quick time, but I don't know if the NSX is holding him up or not. Oh, the NSX runs wide. And gets a penalty for that as well, so that's his lap done there. He slides it for the last corner there. And he's off. I don't know where he's gone, is he? Yeah, he went off there. So Stifler, where's he going to go? Where's he going to put that BMW? It's P3. That's a pretty good lap from him. 3 tenths off. And splits the Mercedes of Pepe and Mao. So far, Tamworth on pole position. Pepe P2. Kazi P3. Stifler P4. Susuke P5, Manta P6, Higgins P7, Tejar. Oh, that's a nice livery on that. Yeah, that is nice. Kind of blended into all the old liveries of the past, with the 90s West McLaren going into the modern day orange and blue, papaya orange of the modern day car. That's a pretty nice livery, that one. Helo's P8, P9 the NSX, hasn't set a lap yet, along with Yeah, that's pretty much the grid rundown at the moment. So where is everyone quickest then? Tamworth is the quickest by about a tenth, but Stifler's set the quickest middle sector. Gone purple by more than 2 tenths there. So if he can get a lap together, he can put himself on the front row, maybe even pole, as Tamworth sets the purple lap there in the first sector. So I'm on board with Tamworth here. Is he going to be able to keep this lap together? Because he went purple in the first sector. Yep, there he goes, nearly 2 tenths up, going into the final sector here. Can he keep it together? Gets a bit twitchy on exit there. That Aldi, being 4-wheel drive, is a bit susceptible to oversteer. Now is he going to fly it through the last corner here? Power down early. Where is he going to put himself? Is he going to improve in his pole time? Yes, he does. And he's now nearly 2.5 tenths clear of second place Pepe, who's currently in the pits at the moment, getting his tyres changed. He'll probably try and go out for another run before the session's done. But it's Kazi here. Is he on a lap? Taking a very, very nice shallow line there. Don't think he is on a flying lap, I'm not sure. Don't think he is. Stifler jumps up to P4 there in the BMW. Stifler here, I think, is on a quick lap. 10th up in the second sector. Is he going to be able to close a 10th to get himself on the front row here? When he's down by 1.5 tenths in the second sector, that's going to drop him down. If he can get an absolutely amazing third sector, he could be on for a better lap, but at the moment I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Comes through the final corner, where's he going to finish? I don't think he's going to improve as he comes and runs to the line in that BMW. And he does improve by 1.5 and puts himself P4 here. Good lap from Stifler to regain the time he lost in sector 2. But I think Kazi is also on a run here in his 911. Oh no, he dives back into the pits. Is the NSX on a lap? I see he's put in a better lap there. He's now P2 in that absolutely stunning Rothmans livery on the NSX. Oh, and Susk jumps up to P2 in the BMW. That was a very good lap from him. He's only just under a tenth shy of Tamworth. That was a very good lap from him. I think Maith, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know if I'm butchering that or not. Is he on a quicker lap here? He is. He's just gone a tenth quicker in the second sector. If he can keep it together here, he could be on for a pole position. Or even a front row start. Comes up to the line. Where's he going to put that NSX? Is he going to improve? He does, and goes pole position by more than 1.5 tenths there. Great lap from the NSX there. And now Tamworth, I think he's on a quick lap, but he's going to get held up here by the BMW. The BMW gets out of the way. Very good of him. Is Tamworth going to be able to put his Audi back on pole position? Comes through the final corner, powers down the back straight. Where is he going to put that Audi? Is he going to retake pole position from the NSX? Yes, he does. Well, look at that, nearly 7 tenths of a second. That's a brilliant lap there from Tamworth. Absolutely amazing job from him. Who's going to be able to beat that then? But I also think the NSX is on a quick lap here. No, he's not. It's 4 tenths. But that was an amazing lap. He now puts himself in clear pole position. Does anyone else have a response to that? Who's on a quick lap then? Oh, Pepe runs wide there. What about Kazi? Does he have anything left in the tank? Coming through the final sector here. Can he put himself a bit higher up the grid? Is he going to improve on his lap time here? Runs to the line. What is it going to be? He does improve, but he's not going to jump up any positions. What, the other NSX here? I think he's... no, he's not. He's backed out of that. But yeah, Tamworth, as he drifts through the first corner, that was a very good lap. 28. A 1 minute 20.803 puts him P1 on the grid here, provisional pole position. Is this NSX of the Belgian, is he going to put it on? He runs wide at the final corner and he smashes into the wall there. He's still going to continue his lap, he will not be improving there. But yeah, does Tamworth have pole position in the bag here for round 2 of this season's calendar, as the BMW loses the back end, going through that very tricky hairpin? But who's on a lap then? Is Manta on a lap here? Can he improve on his 22.4 in the BMW? It's 2 tenths down. He's going to need a pretty mega last sector here if he wants to regain any of that time lost. Tamworth's gone even quicker. No one is here. No one's fucking here. It is race time here. Tamworth on pole position, followed by Rally Maith. P3 is Kazi in the 911, Stifler P4, Susuke in P5, Pepe P6, Tejar in P7, and Manta P8. Who is going to get off to the best start here? 3, 2, 1, and it's lights out, and away we go. And Tamworth gets a great start off the line. Sus absolutely bogging down there along with the 911. Into turn 1, Tamworth holds on to the lead here, with the NSX following very, very close in P2. Pepe gets up to P3 in the murk there. Good start from him. Stifler dropping down from the grid. And Tajar with a great start from P8 on the grid, I think, up to P4. Absolutely amazing job by him. And gets ahead of that other NSX. As we run down now to the hairpin, Tamworth in control here. Is the NSX going to go for a dive? No, he's not. He's going to maintain position as they run up the hill now, doing a complete U-turn back up the hill as we run now into the third sector. Tamworth holding on to his lead. A mere 3 attempts separates him and Rally Maith in the NSX. Here comes Pepe, Tejar, Mayo, Stifler, Higgins, Manta and Kazi, and I think Manta went for a dive there on Higgins, down the inside. Is he going to be able to get the move done? They run side by side up the hill, and Manta gets a massive bit of oversteer on the exit there, and Higgins holds on to P7. So Tamworth building out a bit of a gap there. Gap's gone up to 7 tenths as they run across the line. Tajar under pressure there in P4. The NSX in that lovely Rothmans livery, and look at Stifler going up the inside. Is he going to be able to find a gap? Battle for P4 is on here. 3 cars separated by only a second, and Stifler shimmering and shammering in the way of the NSX. Is he going to go for a dive down the inside into the hairpin? He thinks about it, but comes back into the racing line. Oh, look how close Stifler is. Coming into the third sector. Goes purple, I think, but I think everyone would go purple then. So Tamworth building out a bit of a lead now as he comes around to complete the second lap here. Gap is 1.3 seconds as he comes around the final corner. The NSX and P2 doing a good job there, and Pepe in the Mercedes somewhat keeping with them at 3 seconds adrift of Tamworth. But Tajar gets a penalty, 0.5 seconds. That's probably for corner cutting. Look at that Stifler going down the inside. Can he get the move done here? No, he can't. And the Mao holds on. But Stifler right on the back of this NSX here, running up the hill. Is he going to go for a dive down into the hairpin? He comes across the outside. He's going to be latest on the brakes. And he's going to try and see if he gets a cut back. Hits the back of the NSX there. That's going to give Mao more momentum up the hill. Oh, Mal sliding. Oh, he spins out on the final sector there, gets a tyre on the dirt, and his P5 has absolutely vanished from him there. Such a shame. He's doing a good job there to keep Stifler behind, but Mal gets a foot, gets a tyre on the dirt, and spins him clockwise. Oh, and I think, yeah, spins it going into T1. Very, very hot into that corner there. So, can Stifler now get onto the back of Tejar? The Mercedes is on the threat from the two BMWs here, as Susk has finally started to come into the play here. So the battle for P4 is on. Tejar will have a 0.5 second time penalty. Whether that gets added on, I don't know, or if he has to take it. It'll definitely be added on at the end of the race, however, so he needs to pull out some kind of gap here to the two BMWs behind. And the Stifler is closing in here on the Mercedes. And he will be wanting to get this moved on pretty quick to see if he can get off the Pepe. But Tamworth still in the lead here, 1.5 second gap to the NSX behind. Pepe in P3 gets a 0.5 second time penalty there. So probably corner cutting. Whereabouts on the track, I don't know. Oh, look at this Stifler going down the inside, lovely cutback move, and he gets the move done. Moves up into P4, good work from him. And now, can his teammate, Susk, in the other BMW, get past Tejar here, going down into the hairpin? However, Tejar might be wanting to have another look at the back of this BMW here as they run down into the hairpin. Flying down the hill, all three of them in the slipstream here. All battle for P4. As they dive it in, no one's going to have the guts to be late on the brakes as that other BMW looks down the back of that Mercedes. And BMW on here for P4, P5 finish if they can get past this Mercedes. Oh, he thinks about the dive down the inside. Oh, he nearly pulls it off. It's great racing here. Coming into the final corner, who's going to have the better exit? Oh, Susk runs a bit wide onto the dirt, but he's tucked right into that slipstream. Is he going to go for a dive under the brakes into T1? Thinks about it, he pulls to the inside. They're both very, very late, and he's unable to get the move. Oh, gets a bit of oversteer as well on exit. Now, can Kazi pull up to the back of these BMWs here as they fight, and maybe take P6 away from the BMW? If he can get within slipstream range, which is about a second away at the moment, he can get into the fight for P5 here. As I think Stifler, yeah, he's pulled away. He's got an 8/10 gap, which is out of the range of slipstream as Tejar gets a poor exit up the hill. Can Susk possibly look for a move into the third sector, into the braking zone? Doesn't think about pulling to the inside. Very wise. So Stifler now starting to pull out the gap, 1.4 seconds to Tejar behind. Oh, it's that poor exit from the Mercedes, and the BMW is going to be right on the back, and Tejar pulls into the pits here for his first stop, releasing the other BMW to chase after his teammate here. He's got a 2-second gap to reel in. Yeah, pretty weird super softs there. We had Tamworth starting to pull out a lead. 3.5 seconds is the gap to the NSX behind, but Pepe has closed in the gap. No, he hasn't, what am I saying? Gap's still 3 seconds. Oh, who's that going wide? I think that was Manta, wasn't it? Yeah, in the BMW. Gets it all wrong into the hairpin and and finds himself in the gravel as P2 is into the pits here for his first stop. That promotes everyone up a place, and he's going to be going on to, I take it will be another set of softs. Long fuel stop here in Gran Turismo, and underway he goes. Comes out of the pits, but I think Sush, yeah, near pretty much 3/4 of the tank. So let's run through the order. Tamworth has an 8-second gap to Pepe in P2. Stouffer P3. As Pepe and Tamworth and Stouffer haven't stopped yet, along with Kazi in P4, but it is the NSX of Rally Mate who's going to be trying to do some kind of undercut here. He has a big gap to pull in though. So who's going to come out of the pits ahead? Tamworth, still filling up with fuel. The NSX comes around the final corner here. Tamworth still filling up for fuel. Who's going to come out ahead? It is going to be the NSX. So the NSX will take a net lead. It's going to be very close coming out of the pits as Tamworth just comes out ahead. Oh, that was very close, but they're going to Rally, I think, will have a better run down the hill here. He's going to be tucked into the back of that Audi, and he's going to be trying to set up a move into the hairpin. This is for the net race lead. The Audi and the NSX going to battle here. Is he going to think about pulling out to the inside? He's really tucked in there. Is he going to go for it? No, he's not. He's going to keep and hold position. But Tamworth runs a bit wide. Rally will try and come up the hill here. They both run side by side, coming into the third sector. It's going to be very close. They're going to hold position as they run into the third sector. Well, that's a great bit of racing there from those two. But as you see, if you look at the tyres, the NSX has a tiny bit more wear. Obviously he stopped a lap earlier, which means his tyres will be a bit more worn, but also has less fuel. So if he wants to stop again, which I think they will be, he's going to have to put in more fuel in the next stop. It was crucial that he would get past when he did there, but unfortunately he couldn't, and that releases Tamworth into the lead here. He's currently heavier on fuel, but also has less tyre wear, so it's going to be interesting to see which of these two comes out on top here. If I was a betting man, I'd put my bets on Tamworth, but he has the advantage of being in front with fresher tyres and more fuel, which in this game is massive. Tyres and fuel are a massive key part. battle for P9 here at the moment between the Audi of Higgins, oh, excuse me, and the Rothmans LSX here. For P9 here, Higgins is within slipstream range, but then also saying that, oh, he gets a massive slide going through the last corner, but I think Mauer's going to be diving into the pits this lap. And Higgins with a massive slide there, a massive bit of oversteer. That Audi, very susceptible to that. So let's run through the grid order, and then Tamworth up in P1, controlling this race with 1.6 second gap to the NSX behind. Pepe, as he cuts the corner there, is he going to get a penalty for that? I think he might do. Is he going to get off with it? Yeah, I think he does. Anyway, Pepe, P3, has a 1 second time penalty though, and Susk in P4, who has caught up to the back of him, to be fair. I was saying earlier, if he can get up onto the back, he will be in the podium, and I think that was someone spinning out. No, it wasn't, he just got a massive bit of oversteer there. So Susk in P4 in the BMW with a 0.9 second penalty. Gets one there for corner cutting. Tejar in the Mercedes with a 0.4 second penalty in P5. Stifler in P6, 2 seconds of drift of the Mercedes. Cassie in P7 in his own little bubble really. He's not really near anyone. Manta in P8 as well, he's 20 seconds adrift, along with Higgins, who's a minute off the lead. He's 25 seconds behind Manta, and then the other NSX 1 minute 31 behind Higgins. So it's from P7 really downwards, not much action. Obviously I think all 4 drivers have made mistakes. But yeah, mainly from P6 upwards the gap is relatively small. I mean, Kazi's 20 seconds adrift. If he can catch up to the back of Stifler, it could be within the fight for P5, but you know, 6 seconds is a lot to ask. Of the Hungarian Stifler, is he trying to catch up to the back of this Merc here? For P5, he's removed his time penalty. Did he have a time penalty in the first place? I don't think he did he? So, a second to the Mercedes, he gained quite a bit through there. Yeah, he gained 4 tenths. Looking to see if he can size up a move, possibly coming into this third sector for P5 here. Or as he runs wide, flashes his lights at the Mercedes there. But if you look at the tyre wear, you can see the Mercedes has a lot more tyre wear, and also he probably will pit this lap. He might be trying a one. Yeah, as he dives into the pits to get rid of those tyres and coming for a refill. That will promote Stifler up to P5 along with Kazi. But yeah, not much action going on. Tamworth has a 2 second gap to the NSX behind him. Pepe, who's currently P3, or as he flies over that curb there, has a 1 second time penalty in the Mercedes and runs wide again. Going up the hill. And then Susk in the other BMW has an 8 tenth penalty, followed by Stifler in P5, Kazi in P6, Tajar P7, who just made a pit stop for fresh tyres and fuel, Manta, who's currently in the pits in P8, Higgins in P9, once again in a race of his own. But this will be an interesting little fight, this. Tamworth currently has more fuel than the NSX, compared to, yeah, Tamworth in P1 with more fuel compared to the NSX, but they pretty much have similar tyre wear. Considering the NSX pitted a lap earlier, it's pretty good going. I mean, he has a more worn rear tyres, but he's done a pretty good job there. So the battle for the lead is still on as we enter the final 9.5 minutes of round 2 here in the Invictus Racing League Gran Turismo series. Overall, pretty interesting race, to be honest. Very tactical, good bits of racing shown throughout. Oh, I think that might be a penalty for Pepe there. He did dip 4 wheels over that curve. Yeah, 1.5 second time penalty. But the leaders make their pit stops, Tamworth on softs and O'Reilly on super softs. So for him to keep those tyres in good nick, pretty much exactly the same wear on a different compound tyre, is pretty good going from the Belgian. Tamworth saving a bit more fuel than the NSX. So he's going to be filling up less and getting out quicker. Belgium gets on the way and the gap is 2.4 seconds as they fly into 2-1. But yeah, that'll be the final stop, I think, of the day for those two. It's Kazi into the pits as well. Oh, just comes out behind. And Seuss, I think it's in the wall there. Yeah, he must have got caught out by the Porsche coming out of the pits. That means Tajar in the Mercedes now comes into the fight for P6 here. Has a bigger penalty, however, but that'll be added on if he can somehow get ahead of this BMW going down into the hill. Is he going to look for a move down the inside? He is gaining on the BMW. He pulls to the inside and then pulls back. He goes for the dive down the inside into the hairpin. Seuss with the cutback in the BMW gets a much better run up the hill, and look at that. The traction he got out of that corner was sublime, and gets back in front of the Mercedes. So Stifler into the pits then for his final stop of the day. Interesting to see where he'll come out compared to everyone else. Pepe goes back up to P3, but also he has a 1.5 second time penalty. Kazi in P4, Stoiff in P5, and Seuss in P6 and P7. From P4 to P7 is separated by only 3 seconds, which means we have a fight possibly for P4 here. I think Stifler will be able to get past Kazi, but it's going to be a matter of time. If he can get past him within 1 lap, then that will mitigate the time loss to the cars behind. But if he's stuck behind the Porsche, that will allow Seuss and Tajar in the Mercedes and BMW to close up to the back of him. But now Stifler, right on the back of the Porsche, has run into the third sector. Just under half a second separate these two. He's flashing his lights at him. It's probably telling him, look, I'm the quicker driver. Let's work together, we can keep these two behind. Maybe his fault here. But I doubt he's going to be able to get past going into the braking zone. He's too far back in that BMW. Oh, I tell you what, Seuss was very late on the... Kazi was very late on the brakes there. This is what I mean now. The gap from P4 down to P7 is only 4 seconds. The gap has gone up a bit, but Tajar, sorry, starting to fall back off the back of that BMW. But Stifler still unable to get past the Porsche here. He looks for a way up the hill. He's going to be right on the back of him going through this third sector here. He's so tucked into the back of that gearbox. Looking for a way past. Touches the grass. There's going to be no way going into the third sector. They will get a move done there. He's going to have to wait for the back straight. But he has dropped off a bit there. He's now just under 7 tenths. And I think Kazi will be okay if he gets a good exit out of here. He's going to be able to hold on for another lap here. But Pepe now, 2-second time penalty. You know, if the penalties keep racking up, you know, he's going to be within clutches of the two behind him. These two have no penalties, let's remember. Oh, Stifler's running a bit wide there. It's going to compromise his line. So if Pepe isn't careful enough, and these two keep gaining on him, then he'll put his podium at jeopardy here. Stifler, look at him, he's tucked right into the back of that Porsche. Is he going to go for a dive into the third sector? He thinks about it, or he's unable to get the move done there. But as you can see, Kazi has burnt a lot more fuel than Stifler, so he might have to fuel save. I don't know how bad the fuel consumption is around here, but he has burnt a lot more fuel compared to the Brit behind him as he weaves to the inside there to try and break the toe. As they fly into T1, that Porsche squirming under braking there as they hop over the curbs. Oh, and Kazi runs wide. Is he going to get a penalty for that? He's going to have a very poor exit coming up the hill. Stifler's going to have a run, surely, down into the hairpin. He pulls to the inside, and it's neck and neck as they head into the braking. Who's going to be best of the late breakers? Kazi tries and hangs around the outside. He's going to try for the cutback though up the hill. Oh, it's so close between the two of them. But I think Stifler has got the job done there. Great move from the Brit. And now it's going to be a last lap dash to see if he can somehow get within 2 seconds of Pepe, who does still have that time penalty. So he's going to need a mega 2 laps here. Actually, I think it'll be 3, won't it? Be this lap and next lap, and then the other lap. But the gap is coming down. Pepe in the Mercedes still in P3, but Stifler is closing on him. He only needs to be under that 2-second gap, and P3 will be given to Stifler on the penalties. But Kazi, I don't think he's going to be able to come back at Stifler. You know, I think he will have to do a bit of fuel saving. I mean, if you look at the fuel capacity, he's just dipped into the red there. You know, if I was Kazi right now, I would just put the car into a lower fuel setting and come home with this P5. But I think he might have enough fuel. He just has to do a tiny bit of fuel saving just to be safe. But if you look at the gap, Pepe to Stifler, 2.3 seconds. The Brit has taken out, I think, about half a second gap there to the Hungarian. And he's going to be looking to mathematically take this podium away from him as he just has dipped under the 2-second barrier. Pepe with a bit more fuel and similar tyre wear, but I think on raw pace, Stifler is the quicker of the two drivers. And he's also dragging Kazi up as well. So it's going to be a very, very close lap. This is the final lap of the GP. Can Pepe somehow claw? I don't think he is. Look at the gap, it just tumbles away. Going to the first sector, he lost 3 attempts. And I think his podium is now slowly slipping into the hands of Stifler here. He has one hand on this P3 at the moment, but he just needs to hold on and keep within that slipstream and the back of that Mercedes to get P3 here. So I think he's going to take P3 away from Pepe on penalties, which is such a shame because Pepe has driven a pretty flawless race here. Obviously minimising the penalties, but still. So Tamworth wins the first of the 2 races here. Very good drive from start to finish. The NSX comes home in P2, very good solid points. But who is going to be? It is going to be Stifler for P3 and Pepe for P4. The two of them will switch around across the line. As you see, Pepe taking his penalty there at the end of a very solid GP. So Tamworth takes the victory here in the first of the 2 races. A very good drive from start to finish from him. Pole position, fastest lap, and a clean race. A very, very good opening race for him. So now we have the sprint race, I believe. Reverse grid sprint race. Alright, back. So the sprint race. Is it reverse grid? Reverse grid sprint, right. So the results of the last race will be reversed, so Tamworth will be starting at the back. Along with the rally, along with the NSX of rally. And who'll be in the front row then? Right guys, I'm going to be back for the race start. So I'll see you a minute before the race start. Alright. Right. The start of the sprint race, the grand, God, can't even get my speech out today. The reverse sprint race here. Second part of this race day. So, Tamworth on the back row. The Audi on the front row, followed by Will. Arto Armeo, Manta, Tejar, Susuke, Kazi, and Pepe. 3, 2, 1, and it's lights out, and we are away, and it's been a slow start from the Audi on the front row on pole position. Will takes the lead and glides that Mercedes into P1 as he heads into T1. He's going to be able to keep the lead as Mayo swings around the inside. and takes P1 off the American there. But we're all through the first lap very cleanly here. All heading down now towards the hill, and Kazi gets a bit wide there. Keep it clean, boys, come on. Jostling for position, it's 3 wide, 2 wide. Let's come down the hill here. Late braking, Manta goes down the inside of the Audi to take the last podium position. He does cut the corner there, will he get a penalty for that? And the Audi is getting absolutely swamped on this first lap. He's gone from P1 down to P5. Now it's back up to P4. And they're jostling for position. Tamworth off the back row has come flying back up to P5 here. A lot of side-by-side action as we head into this final sector here, all starting to kick off in this reverse sprint race. And Tamworth gets ahead, and Tajar there is back down to P7. He's going to have that Porsche all over the back of him. Worst time for the controller to disconnect there. But Tamworth has flown up to P2. Great start on the second lap here of the sprint race. He's flown back up to P2 from the back row. Great start for her. Saw out the controller disconnecting there. It's Mao who leads in P1 in the NSX. Has a 3.3 second gap. To the car behind in Tamworth. Manta or Susk in P3. It's all kicking off here at the back. It's currently Susk in P3, Manta P4, the Audi R8. Oh, he mounts the curb there. In P5 and spins out, smashes into the wall, and that's going to drop him to the back of the grid here. But yeah, Manta P4, Pepe P5. But so much to commentate on here. You got the NSX flying down the inside of Pepe for P5 here. Unable to get the move done. Tijar in P7 with Kazi behind in P8. And Stifler in P9. These three were having a race in the last race for P5, I believe. Now they're racing for P7. And Stifler on the back of the 911 here. Is he going to send one down the inside into the third sector? No, he's not. He thinks wisely and tucks back into the slipstream of that 911. But Will, he was leading into T1. He's now P10. I'm sorry I missed that. And we got Stim here in P11 in the Audi R8, backing up the rear. So Mal has a 2.4 second gap to the car behind, which is Tamworth, who won the last race. Sets purple lap there as he attempts to hunt down, or as Mal gets a load of oversteer, and that's going to cut his lead right down. 1.8 seconds now the gap, 1.9. Susk in P3, and Manta in P4, Rally in P5, Pepe P6, Kazi P7, Stifler P8, Tajar P9, Will P10, and Stim rounding out the rear in P11. But look at this, a fight for P6 here. Pepe, Kazi, Stifler and Tajar all within taking of this P6 here. Stifler looking in the back of the 911. Is he going to send one down the inside into the hairpin? He does. Who's going to be late on the brace? Kazi nearly running into the back of Pepe here. They're going up to the hill. The B&W squirming on his rear end, as he's going to tuck right into the slipstream, into the third sector. We've got a fight for the lead here going on. Oh, his Mao nearly runs right onto the grass, and Tamworth is closing in. Is he going to be retaking the lead here? We're right on board for this fight. I think he might have him into the hairpin. That is where I'll be looking to position Audi, as he gets it all wrong. Mao feeling the pressure here of Tamworth. The NSX all over the shop as he's squirming on his rear end there. His tyre's starting to fall off the cliff as they run up towards the hill. And they go back down now and towards the hairpin. He defends very aggressively to the inside. Tamworth is going to try and look for the move. He pulls out to the outside. He's going to hang it around the outside, around the hairpin. He's going to try a switchback move, get the better traction, and they run up to the hill side by side, going into the third sector. This is for the lead of the race. And Tamworth, can he keep his nose in? No, he can't. And Mao holds on into the third sector. We'll come back to the Pepe Stifler fight. I think Stifler got the move there. Pepe was in front. Oh, Mao getting a massive bit of oversteer. And Tamworth dives into the pits. He's going to be undercutting the NSX there. And Susk in the BMW now lines up the NSX. And he's run wide there into T1. The NSX keeping ahead of the BMW as they run into the first sector. But thinks Susk. Track here. I don't know what that was all about. He's back up to speed now. I don't know what happened there to BMW. He just came to a stop on the track. Oh, and Mao getting it all wrong. And he spins out, and that's going to give the net race lead to Tamworth. Look at this fight for P2 here. Kazi dives into the pits. Stifler will take P2 with Pepe behind a mere 8.5 tenths to the BMW. As he's broke very deep, he's going to run a bit wide then. But Tajar here on the back of Susk of the BMW, the Mercedes pair, and wheel to wheel. Will the Mercedes have a good run up the hill, and will he go for the dive into the hairpin? Tamworth closing in on them. So surely Manto will be coming to the pits this lap. In the BMW, his tyres are gone, he's running out of fuel. He's going to keep it up. No, he dives into the pits. Stifler keeping it out for another lap as well, along with Pepe. No, Pepe dives in, he's going to be trying undercut the Brit. And the Susk dives into the pits as well, and Tajar stays out, so he's done a bit of fuel saving there. But Tamworth is right on the back of him. He's going to go for the dive into T1, later of the two breakers, and he gets the move done in the R8, and that means now he's up into the net race lead. And lap 8 here of this sprint race. Obviously Stifler in P1, but he starts to pit, and he's going to drop back behind these two. This will be an interesting little fight for P4 here, between Manta, Kazi and the Belgian in the NSX. Surely Stifler's going to come to the pits this lap. He's pretty much out of fuel. Yep, comes into the pits. Tamworth will come across the line here to take the net. Oh my god, I can't speak. The race lead here of this reverse grid sprint race, and he's done it. Pretty much, he has come off the back row of the grid and regained the net race lead on lap 9 here. Tejjar in P2, I think he'll have to stop again unless he can keep that fuel for another 3 minutes, but his tyres are gone, and P3, 4 and 5 are closing on him. But can Manta get past his fellow Hungarian going into the hairpin? This is going to be an interesting little fight here. He defends to the inside. Manta's going to try and hang around the outside as they fly down the straight, down the hill and into the hairpin. Who's the two late breakers? Kazi dives back into the slipstream. Is he going to get a better run up the hill? But the NSX in the background got an amazing exit out of that hairpin. He's going to be right on the back going into sector 3. Now Kazi, instead of attacking his fellow Hungarian, he runs wide there. That's going to allow the Belgian to close in. He's going to have to defend. He's going to have to defend his position. Oh, and that's Tejjar going off. And he smashes into the wall. Did his tyres just go pop there? And he is pretty much out. And look at this fight here for P2 now. This is for podiums positions. P2, 3 and 4 all going wheel to wheel here. But Kazi is going to be under pressure from the NSX. Look how close he is. He's surely going to go for a move into the hairpin. Just over a tenth. And he pulls to the inside here. The NSX comes out of the slipstream. Who's going to be the best of the late breakers? He goes for it, but Kazi, much better on the brakes. He's been very good on the brakes all day there. As they run side by side now up the hill. Rally will stay in P4, be the best to stay behind and work going through this final sector here. You don't want to send the move into that corner. But Manta's starting to pull away from these two as they fight. Oh, Rally gets a bit of a squirmy exit, but he's going to be very, very close now. As he tucks into the slipstream. Keep it clean through here and have a good run up the hill. That is what I would be doing in the cockpit of the NSX. But I'm not gonna lie, they have closed massively up to Manta. And he's going to get the slipstream off the BMW here. So I don't think Rally will go for a move. He'll have to go for it next lap, as the next lap will be the last lap. But Manta has a 9-second gap. Considering he's starting at the back row, that's an amazing race for him. And as he enters this is the final lap here. He's driven 2 flawless races this weekend. Was on pole for the first race and won that. He started on the back row here after winning the first race and has come through the final corner here to pick up Race win 2 out of 2 at the Maggiore circuit. Flashes his lights, and that's his second race win. And very, very good start. But who's going to get P2 here? Is it going to be Manta? Oh, I just... Rally just gets it on penalties. Great race there. Tamworth wins it from Rally, Manta and Kazi. Stifler, Pepe, Mao, Susuke. What are those two doing? Bumping them across the line. Stim, Tajar and Will round out the 11 races. Yeah, that was a very, very good race. Sorry about the controller disconnecting there. So race win 2 out of 2 for Tamworth, 11 positions raised, very good race from him. So yeah, that has been the reverse grid race here for the Maggiore race in Italy. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a very good race. I'm sorry the commentary went a bit wrong. Control disconnected halfway through. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, because I sure did commentating it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I might catch you all maybe in a race, maybe in another commentary. But yeah, it's been a very, very good race. Both races were very entertaining to commentate. Yeah, hope you all enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one.